It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Happy Friday. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. And we already have a call. I think I might know who this is. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line?
This is the artist currently known as Grant Lampton.
Grant Lampton, I thought it might be you. How are you, my friend?
I'm happier than a kid with two Peters. How are you guys?
Wow. Good.
Sorry, it's an old Southern adage.
Not the answer I was expecting, but that's fine. I wonder if our friend Peter White from the morning show is listening. But anyway. Yeah, so what's...
Oh, no, don't take it out of context.
Oh, good. Yes. All right, so...
One Peter is enough in that case.
Yeah, there you go.
What's
What's going on, my friend?
I am running right across the street from your studios tonight at one of your dear sponsors,
Yes.
at the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, and I'm doing some live acoustic music there starting at 7 p.m., finishing up towards 9 p.m. As your commercial says on your station, they've got craft beer, wine, cocktails, and some really nice food. I ate a Big Mac pizza there yesterday,
Ooh.
and Trudy in the kitchen is just killing it. So if you can put up with me singing in your ear, come on over for some beer and some nibbles.
Absolutely. And that is, what time do you start? 7?
7 p.m., yeah.
Very good. Now you're there. You're not there every Friday, right? But you're there more Fridays than not. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, Kenny has been kind enough to give me pretty much a full residency there.
Oh, excellent.
We had some stuff going on about 3 weeks ago, and then my wife and I ran off to Florida a week later, and then he needed a week hiatus between it. So I'm back full time there. I'm there pretty much every Friday until they tell me otherwise. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm there every Friday as far as everybody's listening is concerned.
Oh, wonderful. That is good to hear. All right. Outstanding. Yeah. Are you going to be, do you have any appearances on Granite State of Mind coming up in the near future? Or?
Not coming up. I was on, I believe, just last weekend with Granite State of Mind and Rod Acevedo.
Yep.
I have been booked for one of his, he's got a basketball show coming up in June, which a bunch of artists of all genres are playing. And he's booked me for that. I think he's got me a slot at one of his rec shows coming up in August, I want to say. But I'm kind of just on the fly with him. He and I are dear friends, and we talk on the phone, and sometimes he'll just say, hey, he his show is Friday night, and I play on Friday nights, so it's not always convenient, but we like to see each other.
Right. Yeah, we should remind people that you were on Rob's show. We do archive all the shows, of course, at WMNHradio.org. So for people who want to go back and check that out, we encourage that. Does anyone ever play with you at the Hop Knot, or is it always just a solo show with Grant Lampton?
Yeah, it's interesting that you ask. It's 99% of the time it is just me. But since you asked, this next Friday, the 14th of May, I have a very, 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 I'm not saying another very, special guest. An old protege guitar friend of mine is coming in to sit in with me. I've yet to announce it kind of on social media and whatnot. But to answer your question, yeah, it's always just me. Although Kenny, the owner of the joint, will get up and play the spoons sometimes. I think I just threw up on Facebook a picture of him. It's kind of a lark, but he'll pop up behind the bar and grab a set of spoons, and off he goes. And I don't have rhythm sessions, so I'm happy to have him.
Wow. And we just learned something about Kenny. I had no idea he was a spoon man.
Yeah, I didn't either, and it was unsolicited, but that's okay. He has a sense of rhythm, obviously, and certainly the crowd appreciated watching him more than they appreciate my skinny white butt. So it was a lark, and we all had a good laugh about it. But he's got a sense of rhythm, so what's to laugh at?
Oh, by the way, so when we get off the phone, I'm going to before I go into the next segment, I'm going to play something I found of yours on the YouTube, and it was on Granted State of Mind, but the version of the show that Rob does at another station. But I found this recording on the YouTube of you performing live in studio. Satellite, I think was the song, right? I've got it here by Fish. It's
it's Anything But Me. Yes, sir.
Oh, Anything But Me. That's what it is.
You found it. Rob was kind enough to say weeks ago that, like, hey, what was that song that you played? And, of course, without knowing the name, I'm like, I have no bloody idea what the song was. Give me the name of the song. But I am just a satellite high above the atmosphere.
Yes.
That is Anything But Me by the band Fish, indeed.
Got it. Yeah, I actually have that. I'm gonna play that after we get off the phone before we continue with the show, because it's really good, my friend. It's really, really good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, man.
I watched it and I was blown away. Well, all right. Well, anything else you want us to know about? You got any other tour dates coming up or anything? Or obviously you're focused on the Hop Knot tonight, but anything else we should be aware of?
I'm trying to get myself into some festivals. Nothing firm coming up. As a solo artist. And again, I've got an announcement coming up, and perhaps I'll plug in with you here next Friday once I'm confirmed. Gentleman's coming down next Friday, the 14th. His name is Joseph Carpenito, and he has a full-blown band and CDs and has been in the business for many years. And I think all the folks here who listen to your station will know a lot about him here coming up. But
outstanding.
That's about it. I'm day to day, my friend.
Yeah. All right, very good. All right, everybody, check out Grant Lampton tonight at the Hop Knot, starting at 7 p.m. Always wonderful to talk to you, my friend. Call anytime, and geez, we'd love to have you in the I don't know what your schedule is like exactly, but we'd love to have you live in the studio with us sometime too during my program. But we can, we'll figure that out later. But
happy to come in and talk to you guys. Thanks, everybody, and maybe come down and see her at the Hop Knot. I'd love to say, y'all, I'd buy you a beer, but that's how I get a room full of people, and I can't afford it. So.
There you go. All right, Grant Lampton.
Thanks so much, Matt. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Anytime. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye-bye.
All right, Grant Lampton performing live at the Hop Knot. So before we transition into the rest of the show, I'm going to play. This is really good. I'm not even a big fan of the band Fish, but I found this, and this is Grant Lampton covering the song Anything But Me by Fish, and I was just I was very impressed. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll come back and talk.
I am just a satellite high above the atmosphere, bouncing everything you say to someone who's meant to hear. Sometimes on a rainy day, I lie in bed and dream of you. So blame it on a satellite when your message can't get through. I am just a tiny wave, a minor ripple out at sea, rolling slowly towards the shore, burdened with uncertainty. I'm gaining power, losing speed, wondering as I near your door, Will you hold it open for the tidal wave approaching shore? You've become an island in the hazy world, surrounded me, offering a vast reward each time I safely cross the sea. All too often I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days. You've become an island in a hazy world, surrounded me, offering a vast reward each time I safely cross the sea. All too often I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days. I am just a raindrop that accelerates without control, losing bits and pieces in descent till I'm no longer home. I am just another shooting star above that you might see. Until I have your full attention, I'll be anything but me. Anything but me. Anything but me.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
There you go. That is so good. That is Grant Lampton performing Anything But Me fish cover live on Granite State of Mind, which, by the way, is tonight at 6 p.m. immediately following this program right here on WMNH 95.3 FM. What an exciting day we have planned because, yes, we have this program, which we're having right now, and then Granite State of Mind at 6. And then Retro Spectrum Radio tonight at 7:30 with Paulie C. and myself, and I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that program, along with Dan Randlett. And we have a very special guest tonight who we'll talk about in just a moment. But so it's a full night of great programming here at WMNH 95.3. But Grant Lampton, again, tonight, beginning at 7 p.m. at the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan at 1000 Elm Street. I'd love to go check it out, but I can't. I have radio duties here as Paulie C's co-host on Retro Spectrum Radio. Plus, how can I pass up an opportunity to hang out with our good friend Easy G? Yes, Easy G Eric Gagnon will be in the house. I believe the young people say that. They say in the house. He'll be our first official guest ever on Retro Spectrum Radio, at least since the show's been here at WMNH. And some of you might think, you might say, well, wait a minute. What about DJ Steve? Stephen Light, he's been on the show, but he wasn't technically here as a guest. He was a fill-in guest co-host because he's only been here on a few occasions where Dan Randlett was not able to be here. But so he's more than a guest, DJ Steve. But he's a fill-in host. But Easy G, Eric Gagnon, will be our first in-studio guest live tonight. And I have to tell you, I am quivering with excitement and anticipation. And tonight, and for those of you watching online, I will be able to show this to you because I'll put the camera on the couch for a moment. on that very couch where Easy G may or may not be sitting, or maybe he'll choose to sit by the giant cardboard Peter Whitehead. But that is the package of compression socks that Jenny has very generously donated to Easy G Eric Gagnon. And tonight, that package of compression socks will become his. So that package awaits him here on the couch, ready for him to put them on and decompress, I guess. Anyway, so there you go. So what an exciting evening planned. Excitement here at the station, excitement across the street at the Hop Knot. And by the way, they do have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. And it's Friday, so they have Grant Lampton. And it sounds like Grant's going to be playing there quite a bit in the future. Residency Friday nights, which is wonderful. Let's see. Thursday nights, they have trivia night, which is very successful. Bill Cini doing the trivia there now. Sundays, they have brunch. They have some things planned for next month for Juneteenth, which we'll have more details on as that gets closer. So a lot going on there, and we're very honored and privileged to have them as a sponsor, the Hop Knot. Great food, great service, and a truly wonderful family that owns and operates it. And thank you all so much for continuing to support our sponsor and support all the local businesses in the area, but especially the ones that sponsor us, of course. Let's see. Oh, by the way, too, if you're looking for that recording that I played for you of Grant, if you go on YouTube, it's actually, if you type in Grant Lampton on Granite State of Mind, that's how you can find it. For some reason, when the station posted it on there, it doesn't include the name of the song in the title, but it's Grant Lampton on Granite State of Mind, and it'll come right up for you. Let's see. Let me give the numbers, 603-250-6007 if you would like to call in, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can always opine and interact in the Facebook live chat, and we'll say hello to everyone in there in a moment. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007 on this Friday, May 7, 2021. What's special about today? I don't know if there's anything special about today. I mean, yesterday was National Nurses Day. The day before that was Cinco de Mayo. What was May 4th? May 4th was something special. Oh, it's slipping my mind now. Oh, May 4th was May the 4th be with you. It was Star Wars Day. So anyway, let's see. Let's say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. We do have some issues to discuss, and I've got a couple of emails too. Speaking of email from our friend Mike Doyle that I do want to get to. Let's see. Rocky Huber joins us in the chat. Rocky says, hey, everybody. Hello, Rocky. Christian Lacoste joins us in the chat room. Christian was here yesterday, by the way, on the program. Christian says, it's no pants day. I know someone who wouldn't wear pants and wouldn't and likes to cheat on his wife. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my head. Who could that be referring to? Anyway. It's a great day, Christian says. Mike Pelopita joins us in the chat room. Mike, of course, from another one of our wonderful sponsors here on WMNH, Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall, and they are big supporters of all the shows here and of the station. So hello, Mike. Let's see, Brian Mackey, all the way from Idaho, and of course, host of the No More Excuses podcast, along with our friend Tony D from Philly. And those of you watching online and on cable can see I've got my No More Excuses hat on. And this Sunday morning, 11 a.m., No More Excuses will be live. And you can have a look at the No More Excuses Facebook page, of course, for information on that. It'll be, I believe, streaming live to YouTube and on IPM Nation and so forth. So they're taking that live. So Sunday is a big day. So congratulations to those guys. Grant Lampton is in the Facebook live chat as well. Let's see. Just want to make sure we get everybody in here. Melanie La Liberty says, just got my second shot. I'm expecting not to be able to do any cooking or folding of laundry for at least a week. Damn side effects. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. I did read that was one of the side effects. One of the most common side effects of the vaccine is it does become difficult to cook and do laundry. Let's see. Abigail Gem is in the chat room. Abigail says, "Hi, folks. Happy Friday. End of the first full week teaching in person in over a year. Wow, that's got to be weird. Thoughts. I love my students. I'm much happier and better equipped as an in-person teacher, but man, am I tired. TGIF." Yeah, it's probably, I'm sure it's strange after the last year to be back in the classroom, but I would imagine it's also quite a relief. I can't even imagine. I mean, my heart goes out to all the teachers who had to adjust to the online learning using Zoom and whatnot. Obviously, I'm sure some teachers had an easier time with it than others. You know, some teachers, of course, more already, technologically prepared for that kind of thing. I'm sure had an easier time, but I'm sure there's some teachers who just felt like they were in over their heads. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's Ron.
Hey, Ron. How are you?
I'm okay. I had my second shot today, and
Good.
Since you mentioned it, my arm's killing me. The muscle, from the actual jab.
Yeah.
It's sore, and as far as tires and all that, yeah, I'm tired, but it's because I get pigged out like crazy. I overate, and now I'm stuffed.
That happens to me if I eat too much. What did you eat?
I hadn't eaten all day, and then when I finally did, I went to McDonald's, which I never do, and I started picking away at the McDonald's. I was like, oh. So.
Well, all right. Well, I'm glad you got your second shot. That's good.
Yeah, gotta do it, I wish everybody else would, and just, it's not a matter if you want to. It's like you should. You got to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the good news is this part of the country is doing really well in terms of because New Hampshire is doing well, but also New England in general, apparently, from what I understand, some numbers that came out today, is doing well in terms of getting people vaccinated and getting people to go get vaccinated. Yes.
Matt, sometimes you're hard to hear, and I don't know if it's because you're adjusting your knobs and you're walking away from your mic, getting a little far away.
No.
You're coming in and out on the mic.
Oh, I don't know, Ron. Probably a bad phone connection.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, kind of almost a bad connection. I only hear just a portion of what you're saying.
Oh, well, I hope it's the good portion.
Yeah, it's a good portion.
Oh, good. Well, that's a big relief, Ron. Well,
all righty.
Well, thank you for the call, and congratulations on getting your second shot.
There we go. You bet. Thanks, bud.
All right, Ron, you got it. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, our friend Ron getting the second shot and enjoying some delicious McDonald's. Let's see. I would have asked him what he had gotten at McDonald's, but it probably would have been difficult for him to hear me. Let's see. Kristen Lacoste says, I'm so excited that my friends are finally back in school. I just realized something, though. Wait a minute. This didn't occur to me until now. It's already May. I mean, there isn't that much school year left. Was there any point to going back now? Full in person? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it's just kind of I've seen Kristen's comment just made that occur to me. It's like, wait a minute, it's already May 7th. I don't know. DJ Midas is in the chat room. John Midas Manning. Midas, of course, part of the WMNH family. He is the host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night beginning at 12 midnight all the way to 4 a.m. And it does play again on Sunday night as well. And so always nice to see Midas in the chat room. Jenny says, this is in referring to the Hop Knot. She says, I had a Mac attack for the first time. It was amazing, because I think that's what Grant Lampton said he had recently at the Hop Knot. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the pretzel pizza. Oh, it's so good. We've gotten that twice now with the bacon, and oh my God, it is so good. Let's see. I just want to make sure we don't miss anybody in here, and then we will get to some stuff. Wayne Noel joins us. Wayne is a top fan all the way from Michigan. Hello, Wayne. Abigail says that's a great song, Anything But Me by Fish. We played Grant Lampton's fantastic cover of that a few moments ago. And looks like Abigail is excited to see Easy G in the house. Or Grant in the chat room says, on to house. Abigail says, what was that Melissa Manchester song, Don't Cry Out Loud? I hope he doesn't cry or fall asleep. Well, Easy G does have a history, and newer listeners might not know this, but he does have a history of weeping when he gets tired. He gets emotional. And I think he has actually fallen asleep or come close to it live on the air on various programs. Tonight will be a late night for him. And it will be very interesting to see if he is, in fact, able to fully remain consciousness, or if he breaks down crying on the air. The crying thing, I have to be honest with you, full disclosure, I know that it makes for interesting radio, but I will be extraordinarily uncomfortable if it happens with me in the room. I must tell you that. I am very sensitive to that kind of thing. To see another human, it's not just seeing a grown, 70-something-year-old man crying that's uncomfortable. It's just seeing anyone cry is very hard for me. I'm a very empathetic person. So, we are still in the COVID era. The pandemic's not over. So it's not like I can, if he begins crying, it's not like I can just walk over and give him a big hug, So, I don't know. I think he'll be fine. What I think will likely happen is he'll be so excited to get his new compression socks that that will carry him through. He'll be adrenalized, which is probably not a word, but it was the name of a Def Leppard album, so I will use it freely. So we'll see. Tonight will be a shared adventure. We've never seen Easy G in this environment. I mean, we've seen him here in the studio many times, but we've never seen him here in the studio at that time of day. So it will be truly fascinating. I suspect that's part of the reason Paulie C wanted to have him on. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he won't make it through the whole show. I don't know. But that is tonight beginning at 7:30 right here on WMNH. So we look forward to that with great anticipation. By the way, speaking of Melissa Manchester, there's a Melissa Manchester song nobody remembers, but it was a big hit at the time. I had the single for it on 45. You Should Hear How She Talks About You. I doubt if anyone on planet Earth remembers that song except me, but I loved that song when I was a kid. Brian Mackey says, I need compression socks for my waist. Well, I don't think they make them for your waist. They do make there's like a girdle that you can wear, like a man girdle or something. I only know that because it is alleged that William Shatner wears one. I don't know that he himself has ever confirmed that. That might have been a vicious rumor started by one of his co-cast members on Star Trek, because they didn't like him very much. Let's see. Eric Street joins us in the chat room. Eric is a top fan. Let's see. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody in here. I made a little song out of that. Brian says, a what? Man girdle? No. Just shoot me. Well, if you never mind. Tom Blanchard joins us in the chat room. Hello, Tom. Abigail says, Matt, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. I did not realize that. Well, We appreciate all of our educators. Jenny points out May 1st was May Day. I was talking earlier about months in May. I'm sorry, days in May. I couldn't remember if they were special. Let's see. Christian says, if anybody is wondering what my comment was referring to, check out my Facebook page. Yes, yes. We won't get into it here on the program. We don't discuss Manchester politics on this show. Manchester politics can get a little dirty. I prefer to shower in the morning. I don't like the feeling of having to shower again after my show. Let's see. Abigail says, I was definitely not technologically prepared, but I'm a relatively quick learner. That's good. Oh, Brian dropped a link in the chat room for the No More Excuses Facebook page. Yeah, everybody, give that a like. Give the page a like. That way you'll keep updated on it. Abigail says, so this is, I assume in response to my comment about we're already into May, that it makes sense to go back this year. She says, 7 weeks left, 28 school days. I'm not sure students needed another change in their schedule this year, but I'm excited and trying to make the best of it. Tom Blanchard says, I posted on Facebook that I was getting the second shot yesterday, and so this guy at work approached me and tells me it's useless, and why are you going to put that stuff in my body? Well, Tom, I'd be curious to know what you responded. I know what I probably would have said, but I... Yeah, I mean, vaccine hesitancy, it's a problem. But it seems to be lower in the Northeast than in other parts of the country. But the Northeast, we're a little better educated than a lot of other parts of the country. Not to sound elitist, but, I would imagine there's going to be naturally a lower level of vaccine hesitancy in a place in the Northeast, a place like the Northeast, than, say, the Deep South, if you know what I mean. For example, the state of Louisiana, from what I understand, has a very low level of vaccinations because people just, I don't want that there George Soros in my veins, that there Bill Gates gonna control me or something. My favorite thing is all the people who are like, I don't know what's in the vaccine. I'm not going to take something I don't even know what's in it or how it's going to affect me. Now I'm going to go to the store and get a big bag of Doritos to eat. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, do you know what's in that? There's things, by the way, there's things in the bag of Doritos that actually will hurt you, unlike the vaccine. But I'm glad obviously you're very comfortable. You know what's in the bag of Doritos, right? You know all the ingredients. You've researched this. I mean, it's stunning. The excuses people come up with. I don't know what's in the vaccine. Well, good thing the people who made the vaccine actually do. They know what's in it, and they know it's safe. But, enjoy your bag of Doritos. God. Anyway. Do I sound elitist when I do that? Or do I just sound like a smart person? Yeah, Abigail says, what's the over-under on easy falling asleep? Well, I'm not a gambling man myself. Scott Robinson joins us in the chat room. Scott says, what's the over-under on how long it takes to sleep?
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Melanie says, I would pop popcorn if Jim Jordan started crying. Just would be so enjoyable, just saying. I've never seen Jim Jordan cry. I do recall vividly, though, because he's been in the news recently because he has a new book, John Boehner. When John Boehner was House Speaker before Mitch McConnell, during the Obama administration, he would cry. He would cry a lot. And it was uncomfortable. And don't get, by the way, when I say that, just to clarify, I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't mean that when I say it was uncomfortable to see John Boehner cry, I don't mean that in some dumb macho way, like, because I'm not that guy. You know, it's not that. I broke down in tears once on the air here. It's not that. It's just, you know, John Boehner would cry at weird stuff. When he first became House Speaker and he would be interviewed and he'd suddenly start crying, it was like, he just would start crying over stuff. It's like, dude, really? You're crying about that? I don't know. I think I remember an interview he did with, it might have been Katie Couric, and he just starts crying, and it's like, I don't understand what he's crying about right now. Why is he crying? Anyway. Dan Lavasser joins us in the chat and says, I got my second shot at 3 today. Good, Dan. Excellent. Eric Street says a shot of Red Bull and Easy G will be all good. Perhaps. Oh, Abigail knows the song I was talking about. I know that song, Matt. You should hear how she talks about you. Should hear how she talks about you. You should hear what she says. She says she would be lost without you. I used to play that over and over. When I was a kid, I had three 45s that I would play over and over. That song by Melissa Manchester, Hold Me by Fleetwood Mac, another song that, it's funny, I've talked to people who claim to be Fleetwood Mac fans who don't remember that song. It's like, how do you not remember that song? It was a huge hit, but it's kind of forgotten. I doubt they ever play it live. And Jack and Diane by, at that time, he was still John Cougar. He was not yet John Mellencamp. Karen Cubitt joins us in the Facebook live chat and says what was useless was his opinion, referring to the guy who approached Tom at work and tried to, the anti-vax guy. Gonzo joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Gonzo. Miriam Banish joins us and says, good afternoon. Wow, very, very busy chat room today. It's wonderful. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see. Miriam says, also, do they smoke cigarettes and refuse the vaccine? Yeah, I imagine there's some anti-vaxxers who are smokers, of course. But they are, and they're willing to do something that they know is terrible for them. Obviously, smoking cigarettes has no health benefit whatsoever and will, definitely kill you or make you very sick. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Miriam. That's a great point. When the other morning, Jenny and I, we were on our way to Portsmouth, and we were listening to Howard Stern. I think it was that day. Howard was talking to, he has someone who works for him on the show named Wolfie, and they got Wolfie's mother on the phone, and Howard was trying to convince Wolfie's mom to get vaccinated. And what ultimately sort of convinced her was, he explained to her that, look, your supreme leader, Donald Trump, he would want you to get the vaccine. He got vaccinated. He would want you to get the vaccine. So if it's important to him, it should be important to you. And that actually swayed her, because how, the MAGA people are. That's, sometimes you got to push them a little bit, but kind of remind them, look, daddy wants you to do this. But at one point during the conversation, because they talked for a long time, and Howard was, I got to say, he was so patient with her, far more patient than I'm capable of being. And I consider myself a very patient person, but my God, I mean, Howard, but it was good radio too. So I understand why Howard was able to do it and able to pull it off. But at one point, somehow it came up that she sees where they're making the appointments for the vaccines. I forget what part of the country. Oh, Pennsylvania. She lives in Pennsylvania. And she goes to the store where there's a pharmacy, and she sees the table set up where they're doing the vaccinations, where you make an appointment and they do the vaccine right there in the Walgreens or CVS or whatever it was. And she happened to mention that she walks by that on her way to go get her Claritin, because she takes Claritin for her allergies, because they live in a place where there's a lot of pollen. I can relate to that. my allergies get really bad when there's a lot of pollen in the air. And so Howard said to her, he saw an opening there too, and I think this might have helped. He said to her, well, so you take the Claritin. Why do you take the Claritin? And she said, well, it helps me with my allergies. And Howard said, okay, so I assume you've done all this research on exactly what's in the Claritin to make sure that it's safe? And she's like, well, no, I just trust it. And Howard's like, yeah, okay, so why would you trust that? And yet you think you need to do some sort of research on this vaccine that you haven't done yet. So I thought that was interesting. But ultimately he talked her into getting the vaccine. Dan Lavasser says there were many maskless people at Rite Aid. Yeah. Scott says, Matt, do you consider yourself an empath? Yeah, I do. And I hate it. It's kind of a curse. I mean, well, I suppose it's helpful in some ways. It is helpful in some ways, especially professionally as a hypnotherapist, but it can also be kind of awful. I think my empathy contributes to my being an introvert somewhat, because it's hard for me to walk into a room where if I feel negative energy, it's hard for me to tolerate it. It's very exhausting. I think the two things are connected, the being an introvert and being empathic. I don't want to get too into that right now, but the answer is yes. Let's see. Well, we'll get into some stuff. Wow, it's already 4:45, but give us a call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Brian points out empathy also contributes to depression. Yeah, I think there's a connection there too. I do struggle with depression. Been okay lately, but boy, I'll tell you what, a couple of weeks ago, it was a Sunday, I had a really bad day with anxiety and depression. That's, but I try to manage it. I use, a lot of meditation and self-hypnosis to try to manage those things. And it does help. It definitely helps. But, I have a rough day once in a while. Give us a call, 603-250-6007. Mike Doyle had sent us, he's sent me a couple of emails during the week. And one of these, he sent me a clip. Now, if this was from Fox or Newsmax or OAN or one of those, I wouldn't even play it. But this is from Face the Nation on CBS. So let me just kind of set this up, and then I'm going to play the clip. It's relatively short, and then I want to respond to it. But Mike, of course, he's MAGA, and he insists that the only reason the Biden administration has been successful with the vaccine rollout is because Trump already had everything in place and ready to go, and the Biden administration is just carrying out Trump's plan. Now, there's this the name of the clip is former Warp Speed chief advisor says 90% of what's happening now is the plan we had under Trump. Now, this directly contradicts what a lot of other people have said. And you can find someone to go on television and say whatever you need them to say. I assume this guy is I assume he's a Trump supporter. So, of course, he's going to say this, but let's with an open mind. I did not, by the way, have a chance. I just got this in my email from Mike. I did not have a chance to pre-listen to this. So I will be giving you my impression of what we're about to hear in this clip from Face the Nation on CBS. This is from back in March, but this is former Operation Warp Speed chief advisor Monsef. I can't even begin to figure out how to say that last name.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
But this is from March 21st originally. But yeah, let's play it, and then I will comment afterward, and I will take your comments as well. Here it is.
President Biden has said that the Trump administration had not contracted for enough vaccine doses when he took office. As recently as a month ago, Biden blamed the Trump administration, saying
America had no real plan to vaccinate most of the country. My predecessor failed to order enough vaccines, failed to mobilize the effort to administer the shots, failed to set up vaccine centers. That changed the moment we took office.
Is that fair?
I think that's a very negative description of the reality. I do think that we had plans, and in fact, 90% of what's happening now is the plan that we had. Of course, the first thing was to accelerate the development of the vaccine. We contracted specifically 100 million doses of vaccine, but also built into the contracts options to acquire more vaccines once we knew they are effective. And the plan was to order more vaccines when we knew they are more effective. So I think what's happening is right, but I think what's happening is, frankly, what was the plan. Substantially what was the plan.
You say 90% of what's happening now is what you put into place?
I think in terms of manufacturing and supply and distribution, which is the physical shipment of vaccine to immunization site, the answer is yes, because there's a ramp up in manufacturing, as always happens, and that's what we are experiencing and seeing.
Now, Abigail says in the chat, quoting him, a negative description of the reality, but she points out, but that's still the reality. Now, I don't think that what he's, the way I take what he's saying is, yeah, we had a plan, but here's the thing. Well, first of all, let me tell you, this is what I remember. I remember it being a very big day on the news when the trucks, who was it first? Was it Pfizer? The first day, the media was all over it. The trucks are rolling. The very first trucks are rolling out with these vaccines to be delivered to wherever they were going. And then and that was like a big moment. But then what I remember in the preceding days was that there seemed to be hiccups. Someone from the administration, from the task force or whatever, I don't remember who it was. It might have been that guy, but it was discovered that there were all these problems, these logistical problems, and somebody from the administration, and hey, I'll give credit to whoever it was, actually did come out and say, basically, oops, my bad, sorry about that, because, and maybe he was just falling on his sword, I don't know. But you rarely hear anyone in government actually accept responsibility for anything. So at least this guy came out and said to the media, yeah, I screwed this up. We bungled this and it's my fault. But they bungled it. There were stumbles. And then the narrative kept shifting. See, you can be the biggest MAGA guy you want to be, but in politics, look, politics is marketing. Politics is marketing. You're marketing ideas. You're marketing yourself as a leader, quote unquote. Politics is all about marketing. And marketing is all about messaging. And they couldn't get their message straight. Depending on who from the administration was going on the Sunday morning talk shows, at a particular point, someone might say, well, no, we've got the plan in place and it's going great. And someone else might say, the narrative at one point became, hey, look, we were successful with Operation Warp Speed. And by the way, I give Trump credit for Operation Warp Speed. No problem saying it. Okay. But The narrative at one point became we were successful with Operation Warp Speed. We made sure that these vaccines were manufactured. Now it's up to, the state's got to figure it out. Walgreens has to figure it out. We sent them some, whatever. In other words, they said, look, here, this is all set. And then we walked away from it. Here's the thing. You can plan whatever you want. You can make a great plan. Maybe the Trump administration did, in fact, make a great plan. Maybe they had a phenomenal plan. Maybe they had a plan so good that the plan that the Biden administration is using is basically that plan. Maybe they tweaked it, or maybe they rewrote it. Let's assume that for a moment. Let's assume that the Trump administration had an amazing plan to get this done. Here's the thing. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't execute the plan properly, that's got to be a part of the plan, is the execution. So if you blow the execution, the plan is worthless. I remember saying something similar about how, remember when, I'll give you another example of this. You can have a great idea, but if you don't execute it correctly, what's the point? Remember when Trump said, we're getting out of Syria? I supported that idea. Yes, please, can we get out of Syria? I never liked us being there for issues because of my biggest concern being, I don't like the idea that we might get into an entanglement with the Russians that we don't need. And I remember Hillary Clinton talking about, when she was running for president, talking about a no-fly zone, all this crazy stuff. I have said all along consistently, let's get out. So when Trump said we're going to get out, I said, great. That's a great idea. Just like a great plan. That's a great idea. Okay, here's the thing. You can have a great idea. You can have the best idea that anyone has ever had in the history of the world. The most amazing idea ever. But if you don't execute that idea, then it's not such a great idea anymore. And then it's wasted. Getting out of Syria was a great idea. And he then proceeded to go about it in the dumbest, clumsiest, most ham-fisted way possible. It still blows my mind what ended up happening there in the aftermath of us pulling out. Oh, and by the way, we weren't even bringing the troops home, which is how they sold it to us. We were actually, basically, we told the Saudis, here, you can have these troops to help with your genocide in Yemen. But, and we also told Erdogan and Putin, hey, we're going to leave. But if you would like to fill this power vacuum in the region that we're leaving behind, feel free. And then, of course, Erdogan and Putin were all over that. And they don't mind Assad. So that's my point. Even if what he's saying is correct, it doesn't change the fact that they bungled it. And the Biden administration came in, picked up the ball, and, it's been phenomenal with the vaccines. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hoorah!
Hoorah! Tony D from Philly. How are you, my friend?
Good, man. You see this crap with Senator Lindsey Graham?
So I'm not sure exactly. I saw something about Lindsey Graham right before I was getting on the air, some comment that he made, but I don't know the details. So if you want to fill us in.
So he said that the GOP and the Republicans cannot move on from Donald Trump, that Donald Trump needs to be the face of the Republicans moving forward.
Well, I can't tell you that I'm surprised that he said that. I mean, but
don't you remember his comments about him about the insurrection?
Yes, I do remember that, but you realize what happened, Tony. The next day he got hassled at the airport. Can't have that. So now so he had to get right back on the Trump train immediately. Even went to visit Trump and had his photograph taken with him and everything. Or was that Kevin McCarthy? Yeah. Oh, that was both of them actually on separate occasions. That's right. He went. He immediately got back on the Trump train and went golfing with him. So he's
unbelievable.
He's a coward. They're all cowards. Well, not all. Liz Cheney, who is very conservative, and her and I probably agree. Her and I probably agree on very little, but she is not back down an inch on Trump, and I commend her for that.
She's about to get thrown out of her seat.
Yep. She's going to lose. Well, she's going to lose her place in leadership. She is. She's not going anywhere, but she won't be in leadership anymore. They're going to replace her with Elise Stefanik, who used to be somewhat of a critic of Trump, but she's now turned into a total sycophant.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
So, yeah, it's
unbelievable.
It is.
The news that came out today with everything, like Marilyn Manson stuff, and then him and
there's more Marilyn Manson stuff.
Yeah, him and his wife planned for. They knew the accusations were coming months in advance.
Really?
So they planned for paying out these people prior to it going public.
Wow.
So, but it's too late now.
Yeah. No, his career is completely over. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mudvayne's coming back together.
Oh, I like Mudvayne.
Mm-hmm. They're coming back together with a big tour this summer.
Oh,
So,
good.
So that's all I was calling for. I didn't know if you knew about the Lindsey Graham thing.
No, I'm gonna look during the break though. But it doesn't.
Interesting stuff.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's a cult of personality. It really is. It's all about Trump. Never seen anything like it in my lifetime. Ronald Reagan, the patron saint of conservatism, would be envious of the loyalty and the fealty these people have for their messiah, Donald Trump. Never seen anything like it.
It's completely crazy.
It's a cult. It is absolutely a cult.
Completely crazy. And, they upheld him from Facebook, so, you know how that goes.
Oh, he's still banned from Facebook, yes.
Yeah, they're not allowing him back on the platform, so these people are itching for something. And it's actually working, not having him on the Facebook and getting this message out to people. It's actually working if you look at it, because he doesn't have direct contact with anyone. But he's also been radio silent since he's left office. So I think of one interview that he's had. I think it was with that Tucker Carlson, maybe.
I think Hannity as well. I think he's done a few. He's done a few media friendly interviews, I think, but
nothing on camera though.
Yeah, he did one. He did one that was on camera. Was it? I think it was Hannity. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'm not positive.
What's up with the Giuliani stuff? Is there any more with that?
That's going to be really interesting to see going forward what happens, because Giuliani. Well, first of all, it's just fascinating to see. I mean, he was revered as a United States attorney. He took on the mob. So he was already revered by some, even before he was mayor of New York. And then, of course, he was mayor of New York during 9/11. And that really catapulted him, in terms of the national, being a national figure. America's mayor, they called him. But the dynamic now that is so interesting is apparently Giuliani's lawyers have approached some of Trump's people and said, hey, Rudy really needs Trump to pay some legal bills, because Rudy is in a lot of trouble financially because he's got his own legal bills to pay. But and Trump, but Trump is notorious for not paying anybody. Trump doesn't pay his bills. He just doesn't. Trump's never going to pay Giuliani. But what happens when Trump doesn't pay Giuliani? Does he roll over on Trump? He actually once said in an interview on television that somebody asked him if he was worried about Trump ever turning on him. And he made some comment about, well, he would never turn on me anyway. I know where the bodies are buried or something like that, or I have too much dirt. And it wasn't clear at the time. Was he just kidding? Was he trolling? Was he serious? Was that a reminder to Trump indirectly because he knows Trump watches that show? I don't know where this goes, but I make a prediction. Trump is not going to help him Trump is not going to help him. Trump does not pay his bills.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see. So, but that's all I got. I'm gonna go get ready for my protest at the post office on Sunday.
Very good. And you'll be live on No More Excuses Sunday morning with Brian Mackey at 11 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, IPM Nation.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
We'll be live. 11 a.m. We'll be discussing, some of the stuff that I got, some of this Lindsey Graham stuff, Bill Gates crap. Half my screen was taken away from me today as I saw on my computer, so that must be she's getting half of my Microsoft screen. We'll talk about that and how how that's going to pan out, and billions and billions and billions of dollars. I don't think it's really going to affect either of them, but pretty cut down the middle divorce. Here's $28 billion. Go away. I'll go away for $28 billion.
Yeah,
so,
I think he can spare it. He'll be okay.
I think he's worth like $186 billion or something.
Oh, yeah, some insane number. Yeah.
So we'll touch on that, but that's everything on Sunday on my end that I got so far. So
yeah, very good, very good.
So be fun to be live. So.
Yeah, outstanding. All right, my friend, wonderful to hear from you.
All right, have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, our friend Tony D from the No More Excuses podcast. We're just after the top of the hour. Let's take a quick break and play one or two things, and we'll show some love to our wonderful sponsors. Don't forget, Grant Lampton will be live tonight starting at 7 p.m. right across the street at the Hop Knot. But let's see. Yeah, we'll play. I know what I want to play, and then we'll come back and we'll chat some more. More Matt Connarton Unleashed coming up, hour number 2 in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We are well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And of course, you can also go to mattconnerton.com to see all your streaming options and social media links and phone numbers and emails and all of that. And of course, hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online. It is Friday, May 7, 2021. I do want to remind you, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. And it's Friday, which means tonight they have live music. Mr. Grant Lampton will be performing live there starting at 7 p.m. If you missed the first part of the show, Grant called us at the top of the hour, the first hour, and we chatted for a few minutes, and I played a song of his, actually, a great cover that I found on the YouTube of Anything But Me by Fish, and I think Anything But Me? I think that's what it's called, or Anyone But Me? Or is it Anyone But? Is it Anything or Anyone? I can't remember now. I'm not a big Fish fan. The only reason I like the song is because I like Grant's performance of it, but great voice. Really, really talented gentleman. So if you get a chance, please go to the Hop Knot, enjoy some delicious food, some delicious beverages, and enjoy some great music. And they have the terrace set up outside is really cool too. So Friday nights they have live music. Grant Lampton doing a residency there. Thursday nights is trivia night with Bill Cini. Sundays they do brunch. It's a really great place. So, and we're very honored and privileged to have them as a sponsor. Here on the station, coming up at 6 p.m. immediately following this program at WMNH is Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo. I don't know what Rob has in store for this week, but sometimes if he's able to, he pops in at the end of this show on Fridays and we chat. So we'll find out there at that point. And then tonight at 7:30 p. right here on WMNH, Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that program, along with our great friend Dan Randlett. And this week, for the first time on Retro Spectrum Radio, we have a guest. That's right, EZG Eric Gagnon will be joining us live in studio for Retro Spectrum Radio. They're taking bets in the Facebook live chat. You know, how long does he hold up? Can he stay awake? Can he remain fully conscious? I did warn him when he called in. I think it was yesterday or the day before he called in. I said, you really want to stay awake because we have magic markers here. If you fall asleep during the show, we'll draw things on your face. Now, I'm not saying we'll actually do that, but we might. So I hope he'll stay conscious. And for those of you watching online, you can see, I'll put the camera on the couch there for a moment. Sitting on the couch, Jenny very generously has donated some compression socks, a brand new package of compression socks for EZG that will be presented to him today upon his arrival. So what a big day. What a big day. It's a big day in the life of EZG. He gets compression socks and he gets to be on Retro Spectrum Radio. And we get to see how long he stays awake. Also, too, EZG will be live in studio on May 13th for Matt Connarton Unleashed. He's going to do his entertainment report live right here in the studio. So no more Skype. I mean, he's welcome to Skype in, but it will be nice to have him here live in the studio.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Monday will be May 10th. So, I had made the decision that once I was 2 weeks after my second vaccination, that's when you're considered fully vaxxed. So at that point, I decided I'll revert to the rules of the station and have guests in studio. I think we're still required to be socially distanced and whatnot, but we'll get back to having live guests at that point. If you'd like to join us, and don't wait until the last minute, Fridays we do wrap up a little bit early here for this part of the show and play some tunes for the transition because it is still the COVID era. I need to clean up and make sure that things are nice and sanitized for Granite State of Mind. So don't wait. Call soon. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do is give us a call, 603-250-6007. Before we got a few things I want to try to get to. I'm sure we won't get to all of it. There's always so much going on, but this is from thehill.com. I wanted to take a closer look at what our friend Tony D from the No More Excuses podcast, what he was talking about when he called in earlier, Lindsey Graham's comments. Lindsey Graham says, GOP can't move forward without President Trump. It says here, Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, yesterday, apparently this was yesterday that he said this. He said that the Republican Party can't move forward without Trump. Graham made the remarks in an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News. The comment comes as Republicans seek to remove their third-ranking House member, Representative Liz Cheney, Republican of Wyoming, from her leadership post amid her continuing criticisms of the former president. Graham said, I haven't done it in a while. Let me see if I can do my Lindsey Graham impression. And I'm terrible at impressions. So if you're new to the show, please keep your expectations very, very low. Here we go. I would just say to my Republican colleagues, can we move forward without President Trump? The answer is no. I've always liked Liz Cheney, but she's made a determination that the Republican Party can't grow with President Trump. I've determined we can't grow without him. Graham added that the GOP is making inroads with minorities due to Trump's economic populism and America First agenda. If you don't get that, you're making the biggest mistake in the history of the Republican Party. I do declare. I added the I do declare. The comments come as the GOP grapples with Trump's role in the party going forward. Graham, a longtime ally of Trump, previously told Axios that Trump could either make the GOP bigger and stronger or that he could destroy it. Graham said at the time, he could make it bigger, he could make it stronger, he could make it more diverse, and he could also destroy it. I do declare. I added that again. Yeah, I miss doing my, you know what I miss? I miss doing my impression of Jeff Sessions. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad we don't have to. I'm glad there's no reason to do an impression of Jeff Sessions anymore, but I really miss it. Trump's grip on the party is being demonstrated by House Republicans' second attempt to remove Cheney from her leadership post, which seems more likely to succeed the second time around. Oh, definitely. Definitely. They're going to put Elise Stefanik in there. The fix is in. Cheney has come under fire from fellow Republicans in recent months for her criticisms of Trump, which included her vote to impeach him for inciting the January 6th riots at the U.S. Capitol. Her likely successor as chair of the House Republican Conference, Representative Elise Stefanik, is a staunch Trump supporter. She's from New York. In an op-ed for the Washington Post on Wednesday, Cheney said the party should move away from the, quote, Trump cult of personality. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a cult of personality. It's like when Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska, when the state party, the Republican state party in Nebraska, was moving to censure Ben Sasse and show their disapproval of his disapproval of Trump. And he made that video where he said, I love the way he worded it. You know, he was talking about, you know, our party should be about, you know, certain conservative values and positions and however he said it. But the part this part I remember verbatim when he said, it can't be about the weird worship of one dude. It can't be about the weird worship of one dude. And it was so perfectly put. He didn't use the word cult, but that's clearly what he meant, because it is worship. It is the weird worship of one dude. That's exactly what it is. And it is bizarre. And we've never seen anything on this scale in our lifetimes. You know, the guy lost the presidential election. He's what, 74 years old? One would expect him to just go away. You know, when George H.W. Bush lost to Bill Clinton in 92, the Republican Party didn't say, you know, well, we need to rally around George H.W. Bush. He's the future of the Republican Party. No, of course not. It was time to move on from him. Or when Jimmy Carter lost the presidency in 1980, Democrats didn't say, oh, well, Jimmy Carter, he's the future of the Democratic Party. I think at our Democratic, I think we should have some event. I think as Democrats, we should have some event where we all worship a golden statue to Jimmy Carter. I mean, that would have been bizarre, right? No, of course not. You move on. You move forward. You look to the future. Not these guys. Not these guys. I mean, they literally had at CPAC this year. They had a golden statue of Trump. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And they used to kind of worship Reagan. But even Reagan, I mean, it was nothing like this. Nothing like this on this scale. It is incredible. It's incredible. But Lindsey Graham, he's, let's see. How much time do we have? Got a little, well, we can get one more thing in here. You know what I think I wanted to do? Yeah. Let's, I want to hit Biden on something that I'm angry about. Because, you know, well, I won't say it, but I know everyone thinks I'm look, I appreciate President Biden because, you know, to me, the number one issue is pandemic response and rolling out the vaccines. And I believe the Biden administration has done a phenomenal job on that. But I'm very frustrated on this administration's policy on cannabis. And I continue to be just so disappointed. And part of the reason is not only because I oppose the war on drugs and I believe that the prohibition on cannabis, well, should have never existed to begin with, and it creates far, far larger problems than it could ever solve. I also believe that it is incredibly bizarre that this discussion is consistently left out of the discussion on criminal justice reform and police reform and all of that. Because if you look, part of the way, and I think I mentioned this on the show yesterday or the day before, but I have an article here that I want to look at quickly before we do run out of time. One of the ways it is often discussed about how you can reform the system so that some of what we've seen with Black Americans being killed in these situations that occur, these interactions with police, is you find ways to limit the number of interactions that police have with citizens. And a great way to do that is make less things illegal that probably don't need to be illegal to begin with. And I'm a libertarian in this zone. I think prostitution should be legal. And no, that doesn't mean I'm okay with human trafficking, because that's the response I always immediately hear. No, of course not. I'm talking specifically about prostitution, sex work. That should be legal. Gambling should be legal. Drugs should be legal. And if you take these things off the plate for law enforcement, you automatically, and by the way, in places where this has been tried, guess what? It's been spectacularly successful. This is a great way. At the very least, you've got to go full legal on cannabis. And it doesn't appear that we're going to get anywhere near that under the Biden administration. And I think it's a shame. And I think we need to put pressure on this administration to do something about this. And, you know, why do we have the largest prison population of any modern industrialized nation in the world? We have more incarcerated people than anybody else. There's only one reason: the drug war. Let nonviolent, low-level drug offenders out, and all of a sudden, our prisons are going to have a lot of space, right? We're not going to have full prisons anymore. Do that one thing. So it has to be done. So it's not just, and part of why I bang this drum is not only do I think that even just ending the prohibition on cannabis, not only do I think that ties in as far as making significant progress on police reform and criminal justice reform, but you know, there's other issues around it. But I don't want people to think that, you know, it's not only about ending prohibition, which causes larger problems than it solves. It's not only about that. It's about this other. See, criminal justice reform, police reform, defund the police, all of that, you know, unarmed Black Americans killed by police, all of that everyone is talking about. That's all on the front burner. But there's this other element to this problem, the drug war, that always somehow ends up on the back burner. And what I'm saying is these things are related, and most people seem to not notice. And I don't understand why. But this is from Reason.com. Biden hedges on his promise to free cannabis prisoners. The president still has not caught up with most Americans on marijuana policy. By the way, at one point during the campaign, Biden said he supported clemency for nonviolent low-level drug offenders, or at least for people in federal prison for cannabis. He said he supported that, but we see no movement and no indication that we're going to see any movement in that direction. Remember, this is the administration that fired a bunch of people because apparently they were a little too honest on their disclosure form. The guy he worked for, Barack Obama, who was president, when Biden was vice president, Obama freely admitted that he had used cannabis. Barack Obama would not be eligible to serve in Joe Biden's administration. Think about that. I mean, that's just one of the many obvious illustrations of the absurdity of this. But here's what Reason says. Just before he left office, President Donald Trump freed more than a dozen federal prisoners who had received sentences ranging from 15 years to life for growing, transporting, or distributing marijuana. By the way, thank you for doing that, President. I give President Trump credit for that. I mean, should have gone much further, but I give President Trump credit for that. That's great. I mean, in the lives of those more than a dozen people and their families, that's huge. That's huge. And I give Trump all the credit in the world for that. I mean, in that regard, he's been more progressive on this issue than our current president. That's astonishing to think about that, to think of it that way. It says here, yet President Joe Biden, who during his campaign said, quote, anyone who has a marijuana record should be let out of jail, unquote, and promised to, quote, broadly use his clemency power for certain nonviolent and drug crimes, unquote, is suddenly reticent about following Trump's example. While Biden has come a long way since his days as an ardent drug warrior who bragged about the draconian sentences he helped enact, and that's that 94 crime bill, he still has not caught up with most Americans on marijuana policy. According to a recent Quinnipiac University poll, 69% of Americans, including 78% of Democrats and 62% of Republicans, support legalization. So, both parties, overwhelming support. More so with Democrats, but still 62% of Republicans. That's a lot. So there's no political risk to doing something about this. There's only political benefit. Now, there's other risks because...
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
There's monetary reasons for why this continues. Biden, unlike most of the Democrats he beat for the party's 2020 presidential nomination, including as vice president, opposes repealing the federal marijuana ban, a position that puts him in the minority even within his age group. Instead, he wants to decriminalize low-level possession, an idea that was at the cutting edge of marijuana reform in the 1970s. By the way, it's better than nothing, but it's not enough. Since the Justice Department rarely prosecutes marijuana users, Biden's proposal would have little impact at the federal level, and it would do nothing to address the untenable conflict between the Controlled Substances Act and the laws that allow medical or recreational use of cannabis in 36 states. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler, Democrat of New York, plans to reintroduce a legalization bill that was approved by the House in December, but was never considered by the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says his chamber likewise will consider legislation that would end the federal prohibition of marijuana. So everyone's ahead of him on this, except him. So that is very frustrating. There's more to this article, and I will share it out on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. But before we have to go, so Rob Azevedo is here on the couch, but it looks like he's counting his money. You counting your money over there? Or what
No, I have to pay EZ for Eric for his cancer fundraiser.
Oh, yes.
He's after me on a daily basis. So
yeah,
I told him I'd cut a check because he wants me to mail it or first class it to him or something like that. So I decided I just wanted to cut him a check and leave it here at the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can leave it with his compression socks if you'd like.
Oh, those are great.
Those are from Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
She has very generously donated that package of compression socks to EZG.
I heard he wanted specialty compression socks, almost ones that are like thigh highs. You remember how the showgirls used to wear? So are these them?
I think so, and they'll be very complimentary to his legs.
Oh, he's got gorgeous legs.
He
if
does.
there's one thing about EZ, everybody makes about his arms and the muscle shirts that he wears.
Right.
I've always been completely attracted to his thighs.
Yes. Well, I think we all are.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, look, I'm secure enough in my masculinity to
Same
say,
here.
when I see his thighs, I feel a little something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little,
I won't
flutter.
I won't be next to him on the couch.
No.
Certainly. I'll be at the news desk. But who do you have tonight? Is this your guest?
This is my brother Mike right here.
Oh, this is your brother Mike.
Yep. Hey,
Oh. Have a seat on the couch.
Yeah, have a seat on the couch.
I'll bring the mic up.
This is my brother Mike. He is also he's in the same venue as we are. He does a podcast called Media. One more time.
Making Media Now.
Making Media Now. Does a lot of interviews. It's very popular.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he works for a place called Filmmakers Collaborative. So he does a lot of interviewing just like you, filmmakers, etc.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Now, where do we find that?
Any place you can get podcasts.
Excellent.
Spotify, iTunes, you name it. Google Podcast.
And you've been doing it for how long now?
I just posted episode number 26.
Yeah, you're cranking them out.
What is it? Once a week?
Once a week, pretty much, yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
And Matt is the political czar around the station here. Great show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Awesome.
Great show. And tonight on Granite State of Mind at 6 o'clock, we have The Takeover is back, and we have a band called Monkey Knife Fight. Do you know them, Matt?
Monkey Knife Fight.
Pretty cool name.
That is a cool name. I don't think I know them. I'd probably remember if I had heard of them.
Yeah. So they're in the studio tonight. I think they're a 3-piece band. They're going to play Stripped Down, and they're going to play live until 6:30. And at 6:30, they have their open playlist, and they're going to take over the dials.
Very nice.
Right. And so that's going on. And I don't know. Anything new going on this week here?
Well, tonight, Retro Spectrum Radio is very special because EZG will be our first ever guest on that program. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And so it's going to be you, Paulie, the other dude, and is he sitting in for somebody?
No.
He's just coming
actually, here. Yeah. Well, now that everyone's pretty much vaxxed, we're going to have our, Paul was hesitant about having a fourth person, but yeah, we're going to go ahead. It's
good.
We're ready. We're all vaccinated. So,
and if you're ready, then everything's ready because you've been very careful.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And I like that.
Absolutely.
So that's the deal. Is Christian's fight still happening?
Oh, Christian Lacoste, his fight. We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know because the guy he's supposed to fight is from Canada.
Yeah.
And, I think the border is still closed.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I got popped at the border one time, but that's another story.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
on my honeymoon. So that's
that border closing cost my barber her relationship.
What? I don't understand.
Yeah, her boyfriend was a long-haul trucker that would come down from Canada a couple times a month.
Oh, really?
And once they closed the border.
You said your girlfriend?
No. My barber.
Oh, your barber. No kidding. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. She cost her boyfriend.
And some loving.
International affairs, as they say.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's the deal. Did you touch base on the whole Cheney GOP nonsense today at all?
Yeah. Well, somebody called about Lindsey Graham and his comments. The party cannot move forward without Trump.
Oh, Lindsey.
Yeah.
What is the deal? They can't move forward without Trump. Watch. Just stop bringing up Trump, and you'll move forward just fine.
Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? We've never seen anything like it.
This is the same guy that I remember, and I always go to Comedy Central roasts when he got roasted. And I always love to look back on that comedy roast and say, and a couple years later, this man was our president.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
While he allowed other comics, and he was laughing and loving it, our president was a man there taking, I don't know if he was the first, but talking about other men ejaculating in his hair. That's how he gets the stiffness. I don't know if FDR participated in anything like that or Gerald Ford. I just can't picture it.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson was big into that.
Oh, he was.
Well, oh my.
Old Woody.
Oh boy. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Grant Lampton called the show earlier.
That's my man.
Yeah.
Over at the Hop.
He's going to be playing at the Hop, not tonight, at 7.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go see him. I don't really get to because I got to be here for Retro Spectrum Radio. But
I'm going to pop over there.
But yeah, very good.
And
very
can
good.
I plug one other show tonight that's
Please.
going on over at the Strange Brew? One of the best in the state, Honky Tonkers. His name's Eric Fingers Ray. He's he's really, really good. So if anybody's out and about and is looking for something different, some honky tonk country, old school stuff, Eric Fingers Ray, 7 o'clock as well down at the Strange Brew. I think he's playing all night.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And don't you have something coming up?
Yeah, we have starting next month, June 12th, 19th, and 26th. We're doing the Granite State of Mind tribute shows starting up once again in the back room of the Shashkeen. On the 12th of June, it is the Prophets of Punk, so we'll have a whole slew of different punk songs going on by different artists. Then we have the Bruce Bonanza on the 19th, and then we have our tribute to AC/DC, which is out of this world.
Yeah.
Phenomenal on the 26th. Shows start at 4, they end at 7. Dinner time crowd, you're going to love it, and they're free shows, so come on down.
Oh, that's cool. And it must be nice to be able to start doing this stuff again.
I can't wait.
After a year of,
And then on the next month, on July 17th, we have the Queen City Downtown Jam at the brand new Pine Street Courts. We're going to be doing an all-day men's basketball tournament.
Oh, right.
Art in the park, music in the park, food trucks, the whole deal. And that's what we got going on so far, brother.
Outstanding.
What about that Janice Ian tribute you were talking about putting together?
Who's Janice Ian?
I learned the truth at 17.
No, Anne Murray. It was Anne Murray.
Oh,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
But I'm having a hard time tracking down players.
I was going to say, are you kidding? I can't tell if you're kidding.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm such a good liar, you can't tell.
Well, you never know.
True.
I mean, I remember my stepmother, I think, had a cassette of the best of Anne Murray when I was a kid.
Oh, we had a lot of that ourselves.
Really? Yeah.
In the house growing up. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, you're very welcome, and nice to meet you.
Excellent to meet you.
Are you going to be on the show with Rob, or are you just hanging out?
He just told me to come, and if there's a microphone in front of my face, I'll just jabber.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's good at that.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we're going to wrap up. So thank all of you, everyone who listened, and if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And stick around here at WMNH Granite State of Mind coming up at 6 p.m. And then I'll be back at 7:30 p. with Paulie C. for Retro Spectrum Radio. And our friend Dan Randlett and Easy G will be here as well. And that is, you know what? I think I'll close with this. I'm going to play this again. I played it at early in the show, but I'll close with it as well. This great Grant Lampton track that I found on YouTube. This is from your the other version of your show, Rob.
Okay, cool.
That I found on YouTube. Yeah. So we'll close with this, and then I will talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No